Okay, moving on. I've got a different selection of images now, and these are more finished cartoon type illustrations, as well as some just a few ideas of how I develop a sketch further. So let's take a look at this one first. We can see here that we've got this cartoon. It's a kind of a Titanic theme. Ignore the fact that, whether you think it's a funny cartoon or not, it's not really important. What is important is this kind of thing here. Well, this is the kind of thing that we'll be looking at in terms of, obviously we'll be looking at how to draw the characters, but also how to create the line art, how to colorize your work, and we'll show you various techniques like this one, which is very much, I suppose it's kind of like a cel shaded look to it, where we've got a highlight, a main color, and a shadow color on everything here, as well as I said earlier, just creating this line art and using the various brushes in different programs and seeing what we can achieve using different software. Let's take another look at another cartoon rather, and you can see here that it's the same style, but we've used different things. We've used some gradient here for the armor plating on this knight. So we've used the gradient as opposed to this cel shaded look that we had that we have here on the cape and on the dress. We've got some effects going on here with the light coming through the window. And we're also trying to imply not only the texture on the armor, but the texture on the stone here as well, just using line art. So these are some of the things at the 2D stage that we will be exploring. Here's another cartoonish type character, but a little bit more stylized than the previous two. Here we can see we've used a different technique as well. Particularly on the line art, we've actually colorized our line art here, and it's a different technique which has a very good way. It's a very good way of just softening the characters up. It's not got that hard black outline as the other ones did, and we're also really using pushing that softness with the use of gradients here. We haven't got that cel shaded look. We're actually using the gradient to suggest a very soft skin. So you can see that on the eyes and on the skin here. It's also on the arms, and even on the dress. It's more subtle on the dress. And then we've just gone for a block fill on the legs. So those are a couple of different examples of the 2D cartoonish style that we'll be looking at. And moving on from the last section where we were looking at sketches, this is another sketch that I did. This was rather than a digital sketch, this was actually a paper-based sketch that was done quite some time ago, and it was very small, as you can see. You can even see the paper grain in there of this mechanical robotic type character. And once I've got this sketch down and saved on my archive, then when I come back to it and think, okay, it's time to do a little bit of work on this, I can take it to the next stage and then start looking at just developing this in Photoshop. This in fact is a hybrid of 3D elements and some Photoshop elements here, the rear legs of Photoshop. So we can see that we don't have to stick really to any kind of convention, and we can make our own workflows however we want to. The end result really is the important thing. So it's really important for you, like I said at the beginning of the introduction, to create your own workflow. But I will be giving you, excuse me, I will be giving you in this series of tutorials, a good foundation to start this kind of work off, and to go off on your own, and to create your own artwork, and giving you the techniques of how I produce this kind of detail and in this illustration, and painting over these 3D forms, just to give this a little bit more life. This concept isn't actually finished yet. Like I said before, it wasn't for a client, it was just a personal little project I was thinking about and decided to take it forward. And then I got to this stage, and then I stopped on it and moved on to something else. But it's always there, it's still in my archive as the next development, and it'll be ready for the next time I feel as if I want to push it further.